Let's go ahead and look at a brand new version of Back to Basics. Actually, you could call it a remix on addition and subtraction of fractions. All right, we're going to do a little back to basics, adding and subtracting fractions. So when we think of fractions, you're probably familiar. You've got a number on top, and then you've got a fraction bar, and then you have a number on the bottom. Well, the number on the top represents the part, and the number on the bottom represents the whole. The part, the numerator, and the reason it's called that is because it represents a number. And then the denominator on the bottom, denominate means to name something. When we talk about the denominator, we're talking about the name. For example, if I were to say 3/5, 3 is the number, fifths are what we're talking about. If I were to add or say 2 cats plus 3 dogs, they don't have the same name and they don't have the same denomination. We can't put them together without making their names something common. So if I were to say 2 cats plus 3 dogs, well, I can't really do that. I do have 5, but 5 what? 5 what? We can think about this as 2 animals and then this as 3 animals, because this is something that dogs and cats have in common. We make that name or we make that denominator common, and then that way we can add them together. Back to the example with fractions, if we had 2 fifths plus 3 tenths. Fifths and tenths are 2 different things, and so we can't put them together unless we have a common name or a common denominator. What I can do is I can think of these fifths as tenths. Fifths would be if my whole is divided into 5 pieces. So that's 2 fifths, but if I were tenths, I'd be divided into 10 pieces, so you'd almost split that in half. The way that works is we actually have 4 tenths and 3 tenths. And when we put them together, we can put them together, which is 7 tenths. Back to with numbers. Let's say we had 1/6 and 4/6. Well, they have the same name already, so we can put them together and we just have 5/6. When we have something like this, 5/6 and 1/4, the names are not the same. And so we can't put them together until they have a common denominator or a same name. So the way that we do that is we find a number that both of our denominators go into. And in this case, that number is 12. Because 6 goes into 12 evenly and 4 goes into 12 evenly. So we find that number. Once we find that number, we're going to change our denominators to that. So this 5/6 is going to change to something 12ths. Well, we multiplied our 6 by 2 to get 12. So that means we're also going to have to do that to our numerator, so times 2. So 5/6 is equivalent to 10/12ths. Same with the fourths. So if we took our 4 to get to 12, we multiplied by 3. We're going to do the same thing to our numerator. So 1 times 3, we have 3/12. Now our fractions have a common denominator or a same name. So now we can put them together and we end up with 10 plus 3, 13 and 12ths. So I hope this helps you understand what a denominator is and why we have to change our denominators before we add or subtract fractions.